What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, OWNTV.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God, I'm already eating a drink. Look a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What's up, people? What's up? What's up? Feel like I ain't seen y'all in a while. It's me, OWNTV, and I am back again for another review. This is going to be our review for Belle Collective. It is season 1. It is episode, what episode is it? I think it's 3. It is entitled Sisters in the Struggle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I told y'all that I'm trying. Oh God, I'm trying. But we're going to get through. So we start off, Tamra goes to see her parents. Now, I don't know, but the car, I didn't see her get out of the car. But the car that pulled up, alluding to her driving that car, looked to be a Maserati or some expensive foreign car like that. And in my mind, I'm like, this whore is simply a DJ or a radio personality. And she ain't even like the main radio personality chick. She's like one of the, Saturday mornings or, middle of the day. She ain't the morning ride crew or the, rush hour crew in the evening. Girl, I don't know. Regardless, radio personalities ain't making that kind of money for you to be driving that around. Child, girl, boom. Where do you lease that from? Just to show off for the people on this show. Get your life in order. And why you spending that money on trying to lease out Maseratis to impress us? Why don't you impress us by putting on a better shade of lipstick so we don't have to look at that god-awful mess sprawled across your lips? But you're probably used to having mess sprawled all over your lips. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, she was there with her parents. They showed some cute old pictures of her parents. Daddy looked like back in the day. Daddy was cute back in his young days. I see you, Daddy. Anyway, I didn't really care about them discussing a 48-year-old, 40-year-old, allegedly 40-year-old woman trying to have a baby. Girl, I don't care. You too old to still be trying to figure that out. Get your life in order. Anyway, what should I do? That's a good... I'm sorry, y'all. I got so distracted. I'm just trying to figure out what I did with. Anyway, I'll figure that out after this video. Yes, after this video. So then we see Antoinette at her space that she's gonna have for her dental office, and she invites her friend, the white girl, Kaylon, and Latrice there to kind of look at it, and so they can be happy with her and help her celebrate and be happy about this new venture she's going into in her life. So then while they were discussing Tamra's birthday party, because all of them was there, they was trying to teach Kaylon what real means. I didn't care. Moving on. Marie is at home taking care of her grandchildren. And so, and I was with Marie on this, and now this baby is 5 months old, but y'all got his ears pierced. I didn't say her ears pierced. I said his ears pierced. Priorities here. Child, girl, child. One of the baby's mama name is KK. And then the other baby mama came there too. Now, I was wondering, how you going to set it up for both of the baby mamas to come at the same time? How do you know they ain't got beef or something like that? Because apparently he's staying with one of the baby mamas. A mess. But anyway, and did anybody else notice? Both of the baby mamas had deep voices. Like, both of them gave me, every man is a woman. Or, just let go. Let it flow, let it flow, let it go. Everything gonna work out right, like they was gonna go right, They both gave me deep voices. I don't know what that says for you, Jerez. I'm not going to make assumptions, but they had deep voices. Every man is a woman, a woman. Everything's gonna work out right, Child, a mess. Anyway, Marie claims she's taking care of the babies because her son is out at school. Now listen, Marie, let's just be clear. That fool might be a permanent fixture down to the female dormitories, but going to class and being involved with the process of being actually in school, we already see what that young man is doing. He's about the business of dipping spoons into sugar bowls down to the Mississippi State. Not Mississippi State College or University, but the state of Mississippi. Anyway, one of the interesting things was that, and we're going to talk about this a little later, is this whole notion. I think she talked about it here, of her trying to dictate where her son went to school. We'll talk about that anyway. But I found that interesting. That was an interesting part to me. Latrice had a meeting with her publicist. I don't know what she is. Somebody that worked for her named Mel, and about moving forward with the hair care products and so forth. And so Cliff calls her. He mad because he wasn't invited. Bitch, we told you. You're not. This ain't your business. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your coins. Keep it moving, girl, child. Anyway, I the whole back and forth between Latrice and Cliff at this point is stupid about him being a silent partner or vocal partner or whatever fuck kind of partner. It don't even matter because at the end of the day, he going home to fuck your brains out. So what are we talking about? A mess. Anyway, I was more enamored at the very end of this scene. Y'all go back and watch the end of this scene. Did y'all see cute dreadhead at the other table at the end of the scene? Like I rewound like 73 times. Cause you know what he gave me? He gave me Gary Durdan in Janet Jackson's Again video back in the day. Remember that video? Again by Janet Jackson when Gary Durdan had the long, light brown dreads with the light eyes. Now, dude didn't have the kind of light eyes like Gary Durdan, but he was real cute like that. Had a real long brown dread. He was real cute. Y'all go back and watch. I don't miss much. I don't miss much. I'm your eyes. I'm your eyes. I give y'all stuff to look at. Anyway, Marie goes over to Letitia's house and they briefly discuss Tamara's party. Now this whore all of a sudden want to act like she wasn't the root of all evil here, like she's not the real problem there. You're the problem. But you know me, and you knew I wasn't going to want to do that. What the fuck do you mean? Because what we do know is you brought your stinking ass on the motherfucking camera talking about you was going to have all the smoke in the world for the treats and they better be ready for you and this, that, and the third. And when you got your punk ass there, you ain't do a goddamn thing. Talk about, this is not the time nor place. So what you're saying to me is your ain't shit ass is only prepared when you initiate it. But if somebody else initiated, now you want to be meek, mild, and all well put together. This is not the time nor place. Girl, get your life in order. It don't work like that. A mess. She's a whole fucking mess. I think the finger waves have started to, go into her cranium, and then I'm sure if you peel the skin off of her cranium, her skull has the finger waves on it because they've started to go into the brain and affect the child. A mess. Anyway, and then Letitia. My thing is, if you really want to be her friend, Letitia, a friend is going to call her out on her bullshit and how the fuck she carried on in her bullshit at the brunch and then at the birthday party. That's what a real friend would have done. But I guess we're talking about Letitia here. So what are we talking about? Then they discuss Marie's family situation. Child, no, she gave us some cockamamie ass. I ain't gonna say it's made up, but she gave me some cockamamie ass excuse about recording her kids because they call it grandfather and she want to have evidence and proof. First of all, if you call my granddaddy, first of all, whose phone are you calling them on? Because you only got a phone by virtue of me. You calling them on a cell phone that I bought you? Boo, you won't have a cell phone. You calling them on my house phone? No, man, we're not doing that. First of all. Second of all, if my daddy called me talking about what I'm doing with my kids, hey boo, these are my kids. Do not call me with the fuck shit about my kids. So that's why I don't kind of believe. I don't believe this story that she gave about why she's recording her kids. But I'm gonna let her hold on to it. She gonna hold on to it. But I don't believe no parts of that shit. Anyway, they talk about how her and her son Jerez had this whole big blow up. He got violent, physical. She played the recording for Letitia. He punched holes. He's punching holes in walls. Yes, holes plural. Okay, just like he's punching holes down to the college, he's punching in her wall. He was just practicing for what he was going to do down to the college. Anyway, he was completely out of order. Now, in the house I grew up in, there probably would have been a 2x4 that would have made contact with my head, and I probably would still be in a comatose state to this day. But hey, let me start off by prefacing saying, and by no stretch of the imagination should any mother ever be in fear that their child, that their son is going to get this angry and violent where she's in fear for her safety. And she talked about how the other son had to jump in front of them, which is a horrific experience, and my heart kind of went out to her momentarily. She was crying, Letitia was crying and everything. But We've seen Marie and her ain't shit ass antics, okay? We've seen how she carries on. We've seen her methodology and ways of thinking already within 2 episodes. And this seems more so like learned behavior. Like, see, I'm from Miami. We don't say the apple don't fall far from the tree. We gonna say we're gonna say the mango don't fall far from the tree. But what you learn about a mango is if a mango does fall from the tree, this shit is rotten. Let me say that again. If the mango do fall from the tree, it's rotten. I'll let y'all work that metaphor through your brains on your own. Anyway, moving on. Tambra and Letitia go to City Hall to see one of the city councilmen to talk about the Fair Street project and everything. And Tambra's cousin is the city councilman. It was kind of cute. I was like, okay, I see you, cuzzo. Holler at me. Had a little deep voice and all. Now, she sit down and talk to him, and he explains the whole process with her about, trying to do this redevelopment and all of that stuff. And my thing about it is, he's a politician, Letitia, okay? He's going to tell you whatever he feels like he needs to tell you so you can get the hell out of his office and he can get to his next meeting, okay? But you was all happy talking about, oh, yes, he's going to hold my hand through this whole process. No, boo. That man got 8,512 jobs that he got to fulfill and do around the city of Jackson, Mississippi. Holding your hand through the process of filling out whatever paperwork and going through whatever is not one of those jobs. Girl, you better figure out and work out your own soul salvation. Get it together. Latrice and her husband are at home. He tries to teach her how to swim. I really didn't care. But what I do notice is every time I see Latrice more and more, she reminds me in her accent of Scotty. Like I hear Scotty talking. Not that Scotty's voice sounds like Latrice because it doesn't, but Scotty from Scotty by Nature. They have the same accent. And I know Scotty said he went to school with one of them. I think it might have been Latrice. It's got to be Latrice because Latrice and Scotty sound like they grew up in the same household because they have the same like accent and stuff like that. Shouts out to Scotty. Anyway, Maria at home. Her husband Cedric is there. Now this is where we find out that the husband got his own house. She got her own house. And sometimes the husband is down there saying, I'm not coming home tonight. I'm staying in my own house. How does that work out? I mean, is it similar to like how some husbands and wives used to do back in the early 1900s where they had like separate beds? What was that? The fuck? What was that? What did you do? Something just fell. I don't know. Anyway, it kind of scared me. Girl. Anyway, like, that's like a husband and wife having separate beds. He got a whole separate house. Girl, do you know what kind of orgies and bust downs he's having down to the second house? You talk about you'll see him for days, sometimes weeks, sometimes a month, sometimes. Girl, what the fuck you got going on, Marie? Anyway, she's a whole ass mess. Her finger wave sister Essie came over. And then I noticed they tried to blame Jerez on both of them tried to blame Jerez on Cedric. And I was like, wait a minute, first of all, that's not even Cedric's child. First of all. Second of all, you even talked about y'all got married, y'all got divorced, and then y'all got married again. So the only constant in this whole situation, Marie, is you. Okay? You are not the variable. You, Marie, are the constant. And what that means is you affect that young man more than anything else. And so that's why I told you the mango doesn't fall far from the tree, but when it does fall, it's rotten. You an ain't shit ass motherfucker, Marie, and you raised an ain't shit ass son. And now when your chickens come to roost, and now that his ain't shitness is expressing itself, now not that it's right, not that he should, but you gotta take some ownership in the fact that you created this ain't shit ass motherfucker. I'm just saying. And Essie around here try to scissor you and Essie around here scissoring, damn near scissoring in the middle of this kitchen while y'all trying to blame Cedric is a problem. That's why Cedric be at his old house because he be like, girl, I ain't got time for you and old ass Essie with y'all gray pubic hairs down here scissoring, trying to have me in the middle. I'm not here for that. That's a whole ass mess. And Essie had no business being there. You need to find your own fucking family and find you some business to do. Find you something goddamn do, Essie. Essie is a whole ass fucking mess. The bitch probably ain't got no child. Man, I don't know if she got no children, but she looked like somebody who ain't got no man and who's lonely as fuck. So you way more invested in somebody else's life than you should be. You ain't got no man because you around here scissoring with Marie. Y'all around here exchanging gray pubic hairs and stuff like that. Just a damn mess. A fucking mess. Anyway. And now when Cedric kind of went off on Essie, like, bitch, why the fuck you here? I was with him. I was like, I don't know why that bitch here either. But anyway, Jerez finally come over and they talk and he apologized and they have some good. This was a good conversation that was had because there was some apologies that was made and there was some tough conversations that they had to have with him. Come to find out, he's supposedly a basketball player. And see, I started to add some things up. You know what? See, what this gives me is this gives me that instead of what Marie probably tried to do was, and she alluded to it, she probably was one of those moms that says, oh, don't worry about any responsibilities, son, because you play basketball. And all I want you to do is go over there and focus on playing basketball. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to do that many chores around the house. You don't got to be responsible. I'll give you any and everything you want because all I want you to do is focus on basketball. And a lot of times, moms are like that with their sons, especially if their sons play a sport, because then they want to have that whole moment where my son is now a professional athlete and he bought me a house, and they want to have that whole moment. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm not trying to come down on any that's your story, but in the interim, what's happening is that young man isn't learning the responsibilities that you expect him to have as a man. Those very same women tend to have expectations of men where they expect men to be providers and they expect men to know how to work out things and they expect men to be able to cope with and deal with rough and hard situations because the experiences and things that they've gone through in life have prepared them to be able to be the protector of a family, the father, the male figure, the husband, and all that. And the third, not knowing that this mother, be it a single mother or be it a married mother, has conditioned this young man to have none of those traits. Because you gave him everything. You gave him no responsibilities. You don't want to make him accountable for anything. And now you have what you have here. They ended by saying that he definitely needed to have some anger management classes and to be able to manage his anger and get some therapy and talk to somebody about this. And I'm glad they had the conversation. And I'm glad that that they talked to about the fact that being a black male, you can't be displaying this type of anger everywhere. You can't just be popping off everywhere because you will pop off somewhere and something will be popped into you, some kind of steel. And that's a scary notion. And I think that she kind of sees the errors of some of her ways in how she might have reared him. But I mean, he's 21 now. I don't want to say it's too late, but you way late in the ball game. Anyway, it kind of went off from there. So, I mean, some of the storylines are kind of played out. Like I told you, I'm already sick of Latrice and her husband. I would refuse to call her husband that. The man's name is Cliff, and we will call him Cliff. We're not going to call him what she calls him at all. Tambra, I don't know. I don't want to hear about her trying to have kids. I don't really care about that storyline. I don't even know that I care about the storyline with Antoinette and this dental like this thing. The storylines are very weak, and I'm trying so hard to hold it on. Yeah, like Jeffrey Arnold would say, I'm trying so hard to hold on to this show and keep it going. But y'all make it so hard. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.